At my age, you know I've been to a lot of doctors. Healthcare partners, they really care. They're concerned about your health. They're all the best. I am Roberta, and I am a healthcare partner. Visit hcpnv.com to hear my story.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Dr. Richter from Compassionate Care for Women, providing personalized quality health care for women at every stage of life.
Tonight on News 46, NDOT takes a tour of Nye County roadways.
A mother and her baby overcome a horrific incident.
And we introduce you to our final female veteran in a series. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Rick Vale and Monique Mitchell. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2013. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Monique Mitchell is off tonight.
Nevada Department of Transportation took a tour of Nye County roads with several officials to identify areas of concern and discuss future plans for development.
We at NDOT feel it's very important to reach out to communities, and we're very interested in hearing from communities what the issues are. We need to get out of Carson City and out throughout the state and really learn and feel what the real issues are out in local communities throughout the state.
What are the issues?
Well, the issues are safety. It's a big concern statewide, of course. Trying to find solutions to a lot of problems throughout the state, not necessarily through increased funding, although funding does remain an issue for transportation in Nevada and throughout the country. But really, what we're trying to do is find solutions, to problems throughout the state, and just trying to be innovative and partner with communities around the state.
Some of the improvement that you have made on Highway 160 in the past year also have been the widening, adding shoulders to the roadway, adding the center median, the guide wires there, and as well widening some of the highway down there closer to Spring Mountain. Is there any things that you guys are looking for in the future? I know that you're also doing some projects up north of town to Highway 95.
Right. So right now we're going through the environmental process on widening SR 160 from Red Rock Canyon Road to just beyond Mountain Springs. We're hoping to have a project ready. It'll come out of the environmental process and have a project ready by the 2017 timeframe. That'll be the first phase, so that'll take it from Red Rock Canyon Road to 6 miles west of that intersection. And then phase 2 will then take it the remaining 5 miles to where it's currently 4 lanes now.
A lot of locals travel over into Vegas for their jobs. What kind of concerns are there with it, the road as it is now?
Well, on portions of 160 right now, there are narrow shoulders. There's, as I said before, safety is very important to NDOT. It's a #1 priority statewide. So the narrow shoulders, a lot of commuters, seasonal commuters that come down in RVs. We just want to make sure we try to take care of the road, make it as safe as possible for those that are using 160 north of Pahrump.
And we'll have more with NDOT on this story in tomorrow night's newscast.
37-year-old John Henry Cooper was arrested last month for child abuse and neglect for allegedly attempting to cover up an incident involving his former girlfriend's 5-month-old baby. The baby, Christian, was critically burned by a clothes iron while his mother, Crystal, was at work. Here's part 1 of our interview with Crystal Lucas regarding her baby, Christian. We want to warn you that some of these photos may be upsetting to some viewers.
He was burned with an iron. That's what I was told. I don't know exactly what happened, but that's what John said. He pulled the iron onto himself.
John was your boyfriend. He has since been incarcerated for what happened here at a Christian. What happened when you came home from work? What day was that?
That was on the 28th of September. And we went to the fall festival. He had him already ready, and he wouldn't let me hold him, so I felt like something was weird then. I should have checked. But
Is this John's boy too?
no.
So you guys went to the fall festival, and John, your boyfriend at the time, wouldn't let you hold Christian. And what was he saying to you?
I felt his head, and I said that he feels kind of hot, and he told me because my hands were cold, that's why it felt that way. And he was just so tired that something just didn't seem right.
So what happened later on in the evening?
We went home, John went to work, and he started fussing when I started going to bed. He told me that he had already changed his clothes and his diaper, and that I didn't have to worry about that, just make up a bottle. And then I go to pick him up when he was fussing, and he started screaming. So I opened his shirt, and that's what I saw.
What did you see?
It was a horror movie. It was horrible. I just saw his arm that was burned, and freaked out and called
It
911.
was not burnt just a little, right? It was burnt through all the skin down to the muscle?
Yeah, down to the muscle. It was 3rd degree. A little bit. They had to do 2 surgeries on it.
So he had more burns on him. Did you fully undress him at that point?
No, the cops did when they came to the house.
So what happened then? You called the police. Was John gone at that time?
Yes, he was at work at Patty's. He was a bouncer there.
So you called the police because you saw all the injuries to the baby and called them and told them about what was going on. They, in turn, also called the paramedics. Christian had to be airlifted, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I actually called the paramedics, not the police. Like, they just came.
Yeah.
And he had my car, else I would have rushed him to the hospital myself.
And so the paramedics airlifted Christian to UMC Trauma Center, the children's ward there, for these burns. How many burns total did he suffer?
4.
And what was the story that John gave you?
He told me that he was ironing, he went to the bathroom, and he pulled the iron onto himself.
And so the baby was sitting in a high chair next to the ironing board, or what?
He was sitting in a regular lawn chair that he could have fallen out of, so I don't know the true story of what actually happened.
And so he had been trying to cover this up for many hours. The baby, 8 hours, he had been suffering these burns without medical attention.
Yes. And he claims he gave him Motrin to help him.
Well, we'll have part 2 on Crystal and her baby on tomorrow night's broadcast. If you would like to help them, you can give us a call here at the station at 727-9400, extension 201.
And thousands of people in vulnerable areas of the Philippines are being relocated as one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever observed spins towards the country. With sustained winds of 195 miles per hour and gusts as strong as 235 miles per hour, Super Typhoon Haiyan is churning across the western Pacific towards the central Philippines. Its wind strength makes it equivalent to an exceptionally strong Category 5 hurricane.
I have to tell you, meeting Crystal and Christian today, just devastating. I know you have a young baby, too, as well.
Nope, couldn't watch it. I tried to watch the story. Nope.
That's
Can't.
devastating,
Terrible.
devastating story. They were lovely, heartbreaking to see what happened to that baby. And when you look at the size of the area, when you compare it to his body size and how much he was burnt actually all the way down. And I know you can look at the pictures.
I couldn't. I mean, I tried a little bit. It was an iron.
I know. I have to tell you, I was burnt severely with an iron when I was a baby too.
Were
as
you?
well.
Where, on your arm?
Yeah, I was burnt right here, and it looks like an iron burn, but it does get smaller as you get older. And the
Yeah, you
thing
can't
is,
even really tell.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah.
You can't hardly tell. But the thing is that I was ironing doll clothes, and the iron fell on me. Not burnt as bad as Christian, and so upsetting. And I gotta say, she's doing well, and they do need help. So if you want to help them, you can give us a call here at the station.
And folks, don't go anywhere because we're here after the break. We're gonna have a talk with Mr. Movie Phone.
I'm Mr. Movie Phone. Looking to get hammered this weekend? Who isn't? Then you'll want to stay tuned for my weekend movie preview next.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Albertsons. You're in for something fresh.
Happy week, everybody. I'm Mr. Movie Phone with your weekend movie preview. This week at the movies, there's only one wide release hitting theaters because this comic book hero carries a big stick. Well, hammer, actually. Yes, Chris Hemsworth is back as the mighty Avenger in Thor: The Dark World.
What's gonna happen?
Hold on.
Wait, what?
Jane!
The Norse warrior faces his most dangerous enemy yet as he risks everything to save the universe and the woman he loves from some ancient enemy elves. Also starring are Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, and Idris Elba. The real deal? Well, Thor is like a Twinkie with just the filling, no cake. It is quickly becoming a worn-out formula, and unless you're a big fan, you're the one getting hammered. I'm out. A spirited girl finds escape from a cruel world in The Book Thief.
Your first book. Are you sure this is yours?
It wasn't always mine.
Sent to live with a foster family in Nazi Germany, Liesel transforms the lives of everyone around her with her imagination and love of books. Starring Jeffrey Rush and Emily Watson. The real deal? Well, certainly not for the Thor crowd. For adults looking for a nice old-fashioned period drama, for the price of the ticket, The Book Thief is a steal. I'm in! Now remember, for your showtimes, your tickets, my 6-second review, so much more, go to MoviePhone.com or tweet me right at 6-second reviews. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you at the movies.
That's a wrap!
November 9th, we honor and salute women veterans. Leading up to that day, KPVM News 46 is introducing you to some of our local women who have proudly served our country. Today's female veteran is Shonda Whelan.
I joined when I was a junior in high school. I joined the U.S. Army. I was in the junior ROTC in Orlando, Florida, and I went to basic training between my junior and senior year in a delayed entry program. Then after I graduated high school, I went on to basic training. I did time at Brooke Army Medical Center in Fort Sam Houston, Texas. That was probably my most memorable time in the service. I went from Fort Jackson to Fort Lee to Fort Drum to Fort Sam Houston. I was a hospital food service. I started out as a cook. I wanted to work on trucks. They told me I didn't have a driver's license, so I couldn't do that. So they put me in the kitchen. But that was cool. They wanted me to be a nurse, but I didn't know about that either. Too much education, too much studying. But cooking is a lot of fun because you get perks when you cook. First of all, you're always the first in line in the mess hall, and some things never change. It gave me an experience to do things like I'm doing in the community with right now. Then bouncing around. I grew up in a military family. My mother is an MP. She was stationed in Korea on the DMZ. She'll be at the Chief Takopa on the 9th. She's one of the few women veterans, VFW members that has been not just in the district capacity, local and district capacity, as a comrade, not, they say men's, with the VFW, but she's actually a comrade. She's been the vice commander at the post here in Pahrump. I give her a lot of credit because, she's been in the man's world and she's done her time, where other people can only dream of being. If you've been on the DMZ in Korea, it's a scary place, even not during wartime. Because of her, I traveled along. Growing up in the military, I'm an Army brat. I come from a long line of military people. My dad was in the service. My mom, like I said, was an MP. Her 3 husbands were all in the military, so there's a lot of military. So I think I was kind of destined into that path, and I have no regrets with it.
And the public is invited to honor our women veterans on November 9th at 10 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial inside the Chief Takopa Cemetery on East Street, right next door to the library.
Well, the